legend has it that I've been wiring for a month. But good news, last video you saw, King Fred runs. So now that we've got this thing running on its own power, we're that much closer to headed to the, what is it, the Utah, what are we going to?
Off-Road Expo?
Yeah, the Utah Off-Road Expo. I'm working on a wiring harness to run these two Squadron, these are Squadron Sports Floods. See, they got that? So we're running two of them back here. We got our LP6s on each side with blue backlighting. I'm building a harness, it's right there. It's gonna run all of that stuff. We're gonna be hooking it into the S-Pods. So I'm trying to get as much stuff done before the Off-Road Expo as possible. So Hillbilly's working on some stuff on the engine. Owen's working on rock lights. Colton's filming. Demry's over there nurturing a sick child because Linky is sick.
All right, so I'm getting these Baja Design rock lights put on here. I made a mark where it's center, and I'm just putting it back a little ways just so it's not rubbing on this lip. It's gonna go right there. It's gonna mount on this panel that Sean built, so I'm just gonna pull this out and bolt it on. The easiest rock lights I've done in a while. On the limo, I had to climb into the trunk to get to the back side. All right, so now you can see why this is so easy. Bolt this on, and then just bolt the panel in. And then Robby's doing the wiring on this one, because last time I wired up some rock lights, we had a little bit of a mishap with some wires getting pinched. They ran a little close to the suspension, and he hit a big bump, and it cut off. Lincoln's mad.
Come on.
What is your problem?
He's on steroids. That's the problem. All right, so I'm making me a harness so I can run all the wiring through one loom. So I've got, this is gonna be the work lights, this is gonna be the license plate light, this is gonna be the high beam for that side, and then we'll run all these wires too. So I think I have it figured out. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this through, but this is gonna be a team effort. So Colton's gonna hold one side and he's gonna make sure these flow through. And this is gonna be super boring. We're gonna pull them on through. Oh.
All right, so I just got the rock lights bolted up. The rear ones you guys saw. I needed Colton's help with the front ones, so we didn't film those. So we'll go show you those, but all four of them are installed. These ones are just up in here. Left the wire dangling for Robby. Robby's gonna come through and wire this all up. And
all right, 4 hours later, we've got a harness built. I pulled new wires through it. We've got a license plate light. Sean built the license plate bracket. We've got our left and right side puller lights. We've got our work lights in the rear. So we're gonna test them all. Got them all right here. We got our main ground. This is our license plate light. That works. We've got our blue backlighting on the LP6s. That works. We've got our left LP6 bright. We've got our work lights. Those work. Okay. It all works. So now it's time to go to lunch. Oh, yeah, you want to know what this is? This is called 50,000 terminal pickup because Lincoln's being rude today. And he thought it'd be funny to spill it and then kick it. And then go sit and watch his video shirtless over in the chair.
laughing at us, picking them up.
I was going to put 4 squadrons on the rear.
Why not 6 squadrons?
Well, because if you notice, it lightened.
They are
light
bright.
up. You know what, Hillbilly? Go turn the light off real quick. Let's just show the people how bright it really is. Pull that alternator.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Huh. Now look around. That's so bright.
We got a dark zone.
And the where?
Right here, in between the LP9 and the LP6, or the squadron, or what it is.
I mean, I feel like I could see pretty well.
Yeah, the GoPros, they don't do very good in the dark, and like I can see everything. Perfect.
Anyway, we'll show you guys all the lights after lunch. So, we'll be back from lunch. All right, we're back from lunch. Getting some wires routed. Hold on now, Owen. Yeah, we'll get them all wired in. So, we've got to get all of our wiring from the back lights into the box, into the junction, to figure out how to wire them. So, I had already made a place on my map for the wires. It's going to go to S-Pod 1. So, we'll wire them into here. I thought I was going to have to take a harness all the way to the front, but I don't have to. Tell me when. All right, so we've got all the wiring to the bed completely finished. Now we've got Dustin from Industrial Injection back. We're gonna get this thing to run. Last time we blew some oil out of the dipstick tube because we didn't cap it. We don't have a dipstick yet, so we ordered that from Dodge. But we're just about ready to put some coolant in it. Hillbilly's doing the high and low side. No, he's doing the cold side for the intercooler piping. Owen's taking the fuel shut off solenoid off because we think we have a bad one. Gonna go over to the other lot, get it off my purple Dodge, come back, and hopefully it works. So we're gonna make this thing run to where it'll actually run.
Blow some smoke out of the exhaust, huh?
Hopefully. I don't think it'll smoke.
I know it will, because I already seen it.
I doubt it. I guess we'll see.
What happens if this works right now?
It won't. Because I already tested it. Okay. Are ye ready?
It tried.
Shorted.
Did you see that though?
No,
But it's trying.
Oh, it is trying.
It is trying. So that's good to know. She just even got the go again. Okay. This thing's bad. This thing's bad. I told you. We didn't have to waste our time with that.
Oh, okay. Go get the other one off the purple Dodge. We know it works because the purple Dodge starts and shuts off.
Okay, so we're just pulling up to Robby's storage field where his 12 valve is. We're gonna pull parts off of it. All right, so I took the one off back of the shop to find the right tool. That's all I brought because I'm like, that's the right tool. And this one's different. It's a 10 mil, not an 8 mil. So now we're gonna go look for some tools and see if we can't get it without going back to the shop first.
Yeah, it's not worth going back to the shop. So out of all these vehicles, there has to be something. I'm thinking this S10 right here is gonna be our key to finding the tools because there was a lot of tools in here.
I found some pliers, but these might work.
Channel looks.
Channel?
Vice grips. Vice
We
grips.
got some vice grips. Hey, they work.
Yeah, that'll be our key right there.
Well,
Maybe.
guess what, guys? Got it. So now, just pull this cotter pin down here. And we got it.
So we don't have to tell them that we didn't grab enough wrenches. Yeah.
We tried to vacuum the coolant system out to fill up the coolant, and it wouldn't hold the vacuum. So you hook up a pressure gauge, one of these, put pressure to it, put air in the system to find where it was leaking from. And so it was leaking out of this thermostat housing. So Robby just called the new O'Reilly store in Mount Pleasant. They said, oh yeah, we have exactly what you need. So Robby's running up to O'Reilly's.
We're not 100% sure that they have what we need. What we're thinking, see there's 3 O-rings in here and it's a thermostat housing. The original housing we sent wouldn't work for them because it was a different style. So for this power steering pump, they put this other one on there. It's leaking between the housing.
Hydraulic pump, not power steering pump.
Hydraulic pump, it's still about the same thing. It has to be.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Yeah, but I don't see a power steering pump running hydraulic system.
Yeah, so the hydraulic pump over here. We're taking this apart real quick to see if an O-ring's pinched, if there's missing an O-ring, or what's going on, because it's certainly leaking between the two. But after that, then we'll be able to start it. Get coolant in this thing and run it.
Oh, yeah. So the problem is, I had the gasket that I needed right here, but if you look, it's sloppy. But the thermostat housing that Industrial Injection sent with the motor, it fits tight like it's supposed to. So that means the original thermostat housing takes a different style of gaskets than what this one does.
All right, went to O'Reilly's, got some seals. Hillbilly's gonna install it.
We went from bad to worse, now we're back to bad. So as soon as we get this done, we'll be,
When do we get to good?
when it starts.
All right, that did the trick. This is sealed. We got 15 pounds, so that means it's gonna take coolant. So Hillbilly's gonna get the pump put back in it, and we're gonna put coolant in this thing.
It's all back together. Thermostat has the right gaskets in it, holds pressure. Alternator and the hydraulic pump is all back installed onto the bracket and put back into place. So now we should be good to vacuum the coolant system and fill it up.
Check that out. You guys want to see something super cool? Okay, I put. Whoa. So I put in a video a couple videos ago where I needed an emblem for the fender. Well, check this out. Industrial Injection came through with a valve cover. Okay, this is one of one King Fred Industrial Injection collab.
Yep, there you go. King Fred.
cover. In case you guys couldn't read that, here, for you guys in the back. Now this will get painted, or powder coated, or whatever we end up doing, but for now, Owen, help me out. We're gonna knock it. Oh, no we're not.
Oh,
Shut up.
you did it exactly perfect.
No!
Look at that.
way.
Looks like it goes there.
Is that what that's for?
Now, this is one of one, because they cut the back off.
That is
so
one
it
of
would
one.
Fit.
Actually, I made two of them for you. It's actually one of two. That actually looks pretty good up there.
Yeah, it actually does. It actually looks really good. Almost like a professional. made it.
Oh, those rubber
Under and
grommets
over?
supposed to go under it.
Okay.
You don't have to put them under. I just gave you a couple extra because this is the first one.
Well, we're gonna
So
we're gonna take it off.
yeah. So if you're
Let's just put the castle nuts. So check this out.
throw some.
King Fred wouldn't be a king without castle nuts.
But put you
I'm
can
just
put,
gonna put that there for now.
yeah.
Just we're not gonna crank it down, but so cool. Check that out. Industrial Injection does custom valve covering for all your diesel needs. Just hit them up. They'll make it for you. He told me he would.
No, I won't. But we do have those available for your 12 valve
Look how
that say
cool.
industrial injection on them.
Okay. Put those hard lines on. While Hillbilly's doing that, I'm gonna see. Well, actually, I'm gonna wait. Once he's done with that, then we're gonna see if this will pull the coolant or if it'll pull a vacuum on the coolant system. We're gonna put coolant in it. And we're gonna start this baby and actually let it run with all our clamps and vice grips. All right, we're gonna start the engine. We have coolant. There's no leaks. We're gonna see if it'll run. Crank it, Owen. Like a tractor. All right, so thank you, Industrial Injection. Dotson's out of here. The engine runs, and it's late at night, so we're going home. So, appreciate it. Make sure you guys check out Industrial Injection right there. Use RLN code for some percentage off.
Get it while it's getting's good.
Yeah. And another thing that we didn't do, but we're going to show you guys later, is we're going to use Max MPG. We'll put that in tomorrow, but it's too late for tonight, so it is tomorrow. All right. It's the next day again. Okay. I'm back to wiring. I got to show. Oh, well, we'll show you later. The engine runs, and it runs really good. So our DCS conversion kit is amazing. We learned how it worked. We were doing things backwards when Dustin was here, but it's perfectly fine now. I got all my wiring done. I got to wire the grid heater. I need to finish wiring 2 lights on the bed and then wire up everything up front. So we've also got a drive shaft that's got to go in it. Hypothetically, once we get the shroud in it and the drive shaft, we can take this puppy for a spin around the block. Down low. To the side. Other side. Knuckles. Sean got a big, huge title over in the fabrication shop. Do you want a title? Should we give him a title?
Yeah.
What do you want to be?
Mine's doofus.
Yeah. Sean got titled the Doofus. He's the director of operations over the fabrication shop. Sir, Doofus. What should Hillbilly be? Hillbilly. Director of operations. Director of operations over mechanic shop. This. What is that? Somebody tell me what that is. Director of operations over
You
mechanic.
need to write it down. So you can
No, Corey will put it on the screen. Director of operations over mechanic shop. Good job.
Too
Congratulations.
slow, Joe.
All right, take it back. Corey, scratch that off. He no longer gets it. Here, we'll give that to Colton. Colton, you get it now.
I got it. Yep, I'll have it.
You're now the director of operations. All right, so here's what I've got to do. I've got a diagram here. So I've got to get, so here we have a ground. Oh, that is dead. So here we have a ground strap that we will ground these lower terminals. So this will go bada bing, bada boom. And then this will come over to the battery directly. So that will ground the actuating side of that thingy. And then we got to jump the solenoid. So from here to here, we're going to put a jumper, and then we're going to take a lead, and we're going to go, so from the battery to there, and then from there to there, and that's going to power it. And then we're going to take that from the solenoid to this side, and then from that side of the solenoid back to that side. And then we're going to do a ground that we're going to take from the grid heater, bottom sides. And we're gonna go right here to the front of the block. So we're gonna build a ground strap that comes down there. So got my work cut out for me. I'm gonna be working on that. Hillbilly's gonna be putting the shroud in. Also, we have a drive shaft. So we put the front drive shaft in already, but our friends up at Tom Wood's Drive Shafts sent us custom drive shafts for old King Fred. So we're gonna get the rear shaft installed. Owen had to go on a tow, so this is all Hillbilly today. Getting that in, we'll put the rear tires back on, and then we just have a ton of wiring, tons of wiring. So we're gonna keep working on all that stuff. And then Sean's working on building mounts for all of our computer things from DCS, right? Hector's work. Oh, Hector's sanding. You guys can go see what Hector's up to.
Man, how are you? What are you doing?
Good, you?
Sanding?
Yeah, man. Lijando las partes del Keychains, las bases de los gatos y las cajas ¿qué? De la herramienta. ¿Y you?
What am I doing? Come to see what you were doing. Hey, you want to show them what you got?
Yeah.
So we are so proud of Hector Day because, like we've said before, Hector's trying to do everything the right way, the correct way. He's such a humble guy. So it just means a lot when we see him succeed in the goals he's set for himself while he's here. So check this out. This is awesome.
Operador.
Driver's license.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Brother,
It's good, man.
freaking awesome.
Happy, man.
Now you can drive us everywhere.
Good,
Yeah.
happy.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you, man.
So you guys get on there and congratulate Hector for getting his driver's license. There's one little jumper.
All right, the light brackets stuck out way too far, so we moved them in 1 inch and 1/8, so that way they don't stick out way out here and get smoked off by something.
Yeah.
So it should help.
I came out to find the vacuum canister for the heater system, and I was looking for the soup can looking canister. Couldn't find one nowhere, so I was decided to do a little bit of research. And on the 7.3 Power Strokes, the canister is a little black box right here that bolts onto the heater assembly. And there it is, the vacuum canister. I'm hoping the other heater box has the place where that mounts. I hope. I give up. It's already on the heater box.
It was camouflaged before, but now I can see it.
Yeah, now that you know it's there, you can see it there. Now that I found out the vacuum canister is not located in a soup can like I thought, getting the vacuum line ran. We got it fed through the top, right along with the fuel line. So I'm gonna go to the other side, grab it and route it the way I want it routed, and then hook into the vacuum pump, and then cut how much I don't need off.
All right, so while Hillbilly is working on some stuff on the engine, Sean's working on a mounting plate for my wiring. I'm just trying to go through and see how to hook up my my quick shift 4, and it's gonna be pretty simple. So all of these are plug and play. These all go to the transmission. They just need probably shortened a mile. Anyway, those are pretty self-explanatory. And then I'm going through this and I'm figuring out that all of the carbureted mechanical injected diesel stuff is pretty simple. So they got an EFI version and a mechanical version. So it shows you all the pin locations and it shows you what wires and they're labeled. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually just gonna unpin everything that we don't use and eliminate it. Because we're not using upshift, we're not using electronic downshift. I mean, there's a speedo auxiliary out, tack input, but we're using all the tack stuff off of the DCS box. So this is their throttle position sensor wiring, and then we got power and ground. So fairly simple. Hopefully it goes together as simple as I think it's going to. And then we got to hook it up to a computer. That's not going to be very simple because I'm kind of dumb. So we got to calibrate it, but there's a whole section on calibration. So you got Ford backup. Oh, Ford backup lamps. Actually, we do want to hook that up. We might could just hook the neutral safety switch up because we figured that out. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. Figuring all the wiring out. I'm playing Chad for the day again.
Okay, so Robby and Colton are still at lunch. I came back a little early. I want to get the fan shroud installed onto the radiator. You won't be able to watch me do that because I talked to Sean and he says it's very tight fit and I don't want to scratch the shroud or anything else. So I'll just show you little pieces here and there of what I get done when I get it done. Okay, I got the top radiator shroud installed, or fan shroud. Now I have to do one, the lower is 2 pieces, so I have to do one side and then another side, bolted all together, bolted to the core support, so I'll show you that once it's done.
All right, we're back from lunch. Hillbilly took care of some stuff while I was gone. Sean's getting us a mounting plate for our DCS conversion kit. Once he gets that all mounted, then I'll be able to get in there and finish some wiring. But I've got some ground wires I've built. I need to take power wires from the solenoid, route them, build them, and get this thing to where all the wiring's done. After that, we have to do the transmission controller too. So we still have lots of wiring, but we're getting closer to driving it. That's what's important here.
These are temporary.
Oh, good they got it, because we don't use grabber screws in this shop. That's just to mark holes. All right, you can't really see under here very well, but we've got a speed sensor that goes in the rear axle, and I broke it, and I've been trying to get it out for a long time, and I was able to finally drill a hole, put a screw in it, break it up to the point where I got it out. Now, there's a little bit, oh, I need some needle nose pliers, Hillbilly. I was able to get it out. I was so worried, but it was frozen in there after drilling 25 holes and prying and breaking, and we got it to where I can put the new sensor in. So I was pretty worried that it wasn't going to come out. So it did. Came right out. So I'm going to get that tidied up, and then that's the last of the rear wiring. Put a new end on. I'm going to tidy that up and then move on. I got to look at something for Hillbilly so we can get the throttle control hooked up, and then I think we'll just keep wiring.
Okay, so I'll just go over the list, and we have not marked anything off that's been done. So we're gonna go through and do that real fast. Heater hose, done. Coolant fill, done. Light wiring is done partial, so we'll do light. Transmission wiring, not done. Hot side of intercooler, done. Bleed injectors, fill fuel, done. Install hydro pump, done. Bleed hydraulics, not doing that until the very last. Hook up power steering hydro booster, done.
Oh, you can go get power steering fluid.
Sounds like a good idea.
Key on wire to fuel shut off. Grid heaters, Robby. Rear drive line. Robby's working on a sensor in the rear axle, so the rear drive line would be in his way. Mirrors, he's in the middle of what he wants to run for the mirrors. Toolbox lights, Robby. Fixed fuel gauge, done. New leaf springs, not us. Tighten lug nuts, we can do that. Gears and lockers, not us. Chad. Idle up cable. I have it ran, and I'm gonna have Robby look at it the way I have it ran to make sure that that's good and gonna be out of the way of everything before I cut it, so I'm not gonna mark that because it's not even half done yet. Finish dash. Nope, gotta do some wiring. Install seat. Don't have seat yet. Paint toolbox. Can't do that yet. Door key locks. We gotta find the door locks. Fix giant hole in floor. That's Sean. Winch cable boom. Can't do that without hydraulics. 4x4 shifter. Not done. Loom wires.
That's another thing you can do. We got to figure out the 4x4 shifter.
Loom wires.
I'll do that.
Robby will do that. Install 4,000 zip ties. I think that's Owen.
That's not my job.
He's the one that said install 4,000 zip ties, so we...
To tidy up all the wiring.
Your
and...
fingers gonna be so sore.
Oh yeah.
You nominated...
I'm gonna cut every one of them to be sharp too.
And you have to count and make sure there's 4,000 on there.
Yeah, and if you cut any of them square, you redo it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to make sure they're 45 degree or more.
And there better
sharp.
be 4,000 little cuts on your finger after you're done.
Oh, there's gonna be.
Wire in 4 badline winches. That's Robby. Grease boom. Gear, oil, diff. Can't do that. That will be Chad. 3rd battery mount. I think that's a Sean job. Legal plate bracket. Done. So we have 1, 2, 7, 8. 8 things out of our 10,000 things on this list.
Do you have 4,000 zip ties?
I don't think we have 4,000 zip ties in this shop. Zip tie.
7,000.
Yeah.
Oh, Robby ordered 7,000 of them, so we're good.
Not even joking.
Not even build.
No, I never doubted you. That's the best thing.
They were on clearance.
On clearance.
On clearance. In the Black Monday sale.
For $1,000. Like, not even kidding. All right, so Hillbilly's working on the 4-wheel drive shifter. Me and Owen are getting our custom built drive shaft from Tom Woods. And we could knock that off the list. But I got my speed sensor put in. Disaster was averted. I was able to dig it all out with a grabber screw. So that's lucky. We just found another issue. Now the cable is not allowing the transmission to go into park. We need to move that bracket a little.
We'll have to cut and move and build that bracket. Cut and lengthen it.
We don't want to cut the floor out anymore because it'll hit the seat. So this has to be coming through in the center here. All right. Might look like...
I got the tranny thing mounted, so you can do that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Cool. We're figuring it out. We're not just laying on our backs. Well, we are actually. Oh, I'm losing stuff.
Okay, Robby gave me the go-ahead to finish what I have to do to the cable. He likes the way it's mounted. Kind of likes it. But there's one bracket that came with the bed, already on the bed, where it sat. And that's where it ran through. So now, I'm going to pull 34 inches out to make sure I have enough pulled out so I'm not cutting that when I trim the cable, because the cable does need to be trimmed. So, I'm going to go 37. Okay, push it in. A little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit. Hold it.
Stuff's still coming out.
Well, okay, go in. Now push it. There you go.
Does it run smoothly?
Yeah.
Alright, just getting this cable hooked up and tightened.
Well, how cool.
I don't want to mess with it right now because they're hooking it up, but and that'll all be hooked up so we can come back here, idle it up, do all this stuff, do tow truck things, I guess. Alright, so got most of this stuff done underneath the truck. We're gonna put the tires back on and get all the lug nuts tight so we don't forget about it.
Is that the outside one? Or...
This one's backwards. We don't want.
Oh, we should run it like that. It looks. It sticks out enough, but it just looks funny.
That's how you do. That's how you do a burnout. That looks more normal, right?
All right. What is Star? Oh, Sean. That's his legend.
So we got idle up cable. Drive lines, where was
Their
it?
drive line.
Mirrors are still
Working on that. I'm working on that. I'm working on that. Toolbox lights. Working on that. Tighten lug nuts.
Owen's working on that.
New leaf springs.
That's not us.
Oh.
That's Alcan.
Finished ass. Install seat. Windshield. I just ordered a windshield. So that's coming.
Feet will be here next week, you said?
I'll paint those on Friday. We got to find the door key locks. This giant hole in the floor. Yeah, that'll be Sean. So now that Hillbilly's out of the engine compartment, I'm going to dial in all my wiring. So I've got my control wires where I want them. Got them ran. So I'm going to be hooking those up into the S-Pod. These are going to get hooked up down underneath that panel. This is keyed power. That's got to be hooked up. These have all got to be shortened and hooked up to the battery. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do like a distribution panel that comes up over here to the terminal. I've got to run grid heater wires. That's what I'm working on, is running all these. I've got a ground strap right here. So this is going to jump from there to there. And then it's going to wire over here into the ground. So that should be fairly simple. I think we've got everything over here done. We've got the shroud installed. Hillbilly's got the control wire done. Our list is getting smaller. And that's what we're after. Lots of stuff getting packed into this little area. Lots of stuff.
All right, so I got the other side on. I'm just gonna get all the lug nuts tightened down. All right, so Hillbilly found the key locks for Fred. So I'm gonna get these put into the door to cover up that hole and to have key locks. We'll have to have a key made for them because we don't currently have one. All right, that was a little bit of a struggle, but I got this side done. Now I just gotta put the... We're gonna clean these up before we put them in.
Hillbilly says no Stanleys are allowed at his house. If you guys could all just ship one to his house, we'll actually ship them here and we'll take him to his house. Then he won't know where they came from.
What's wrong with Stanley?
Don't even start. Don't even beat him up.
All right, so Colton went off and got these painted. Look pretty good. He missed about half of it, but
Dude, I was just focused on the top.
that's exactly what I was about to say. That part don't matter, so. Like that.
All right, so I'm getting the rest of the wiring under hood done. So we've got the S-Pods we need to wire in. These are the Bantam X 8 and 8. So we're gonna have 16 controls inside the cab with our S-Pod. Gotta mount the fuses. So the cool thing about these little fuses is they snap together like a Lego. So we're gonna put them together and then I'm gonna bolt them in here, but I needed to pull this off so I can drill this because I can't drill it in the truck. So I'm gonna drill and mount that, and then I am going to make my terminations with the wiring, and then I shortened my grounds, so I need to put ends on those, and then we'll put it back in, and all the wiring is gonna be the correct length. So I couldn't do that in the truck. I've got all this ready, so once we do that, we will be installing this for the final time. All right, so I've got the S-Pods all mounted. I've got the wires into the fuses. I've got a fuse for the main feed to the back, and now I can put this in for the final time. This is such tedious work, but it's got to be done correct, and I actually really like doing it. So I'm here late by myself. I sent everybody home to where all I got to do is focus, make wires, and enjoy King Fred's company. All right, it is the next morning. I've got to wire the alternator, but Hillbilly is in, get the shifter all put together that Sean built. So I've got to run and get some more wire. This requires a 4-gauge wire. It's a 1-wire alternator from DCS. We're gonna hook that in, and I believe my wiring nightmares are somewhat over, but not quite.
Okay, I just finished installing the shifter, the 4-wheel drive shifter, the 4-wheel drive shifter boot, and plastic trim. So Sean had to end up taking the shifter the 4-wheel drive shifter that we got. I believe it goes to the transfer case. He had to take it, cut it, extend it, move it, zig it, clearance it.
Did he zag it?
He zigged and zagged it.
So he did zag it.
And extended it and bent it and...
Yeah, but if you don't zag it, it won't work.
Yeah, you have to zag.
If you don't zag it, it don't zig.
No, if you only zig and you don't zag, you're out of luck. Dude, look at that. He literally acts like he knows what he's doing. Love the guy.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, you're talking about Sean?
No. Talking about Hillbilly.
So now I want to take probably some plastic repair, squirt a little bit down inside there, pop it on there so that way this will lock back on the way it's supposed to be.
I'm just gonna assume that the only terminal on that thing, that dang it over there, I'm gonna use it. That'll make sense. So this alternator is a 1-wire alternator. There's only a nut on one stud. So I'm gonna assume it's this little baby one right here. All right, I went to Napa, grabbed me some 4-gauge wire, and I'm gonna get this routed. I figured out which stud it goes to. So that's lucky. We're just gonna come up. Actually, I think I wanna follow these wires right here. All right, we'll go get some ends put on this. And the alternator is a true 1-wire alternator. All you gotta do is have a power wire. Somehow it internally regulates, it internally turns on. That's what they told me, so I'm gonna believe them. Smash clamped. Love that. I was just telling Hillbilly how much I love this little tool. I use it for everything. I put Hillbilly's finger in there when he's bad.
Could you imagine?
Oh, it hurts so
Put your
bad.
finger in there.
All right, you've been a bad little boy. Hillbilly, put your finger in there.
My finger ain't gonna fit in there.
Yeah, that's true.
I want to hurry and get this wait to start light wired up into the factory Ford Power Stroke wait to start light, and I'll show you that. That way we don't have to drill a hole in the dash or nothing to put the light that DCS sent, but they do send a wait to start light for the grid heater, but we're going to use the OEM wait to start light in the Ford.
You want to know why? Ford things, that's why.
Ford
Clean and cool.
All right, I was working on the AC wiring, but I need to get down to the bottom, so I got to take the lower charge air tube out, and I don't have time to do that today. So we don't need the AC today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hook up the upper hose so that that's finished, and then hopefully Amazon will have our terminals. We can hook up all the power, If we can hook up all the power, we can see if this thing will drive. And that is the goal here.
Okay, I've got the wait to start light wired up. Wait to start.
Does it shut off?
Yeah, let's see if it'll shut off.
Is that block getting warm?
What I'm feeling.
What sense is that? Is that a time relay or like a
No,
temperature?
It's supposed to run off of the IAT.
It's not shutting off yet.
You might be able to get it better from right here, Hillbilly.
No, we're almost done. No reassessing. Okay, let off. All right, that was
A joke.
what I would like to say is miserable. So we're gonna have to put a little piece of heat shield on this AC line, and then we'll build some sort of a clamp here. I think they have radiator clamps that like hold hoses together. I don't know that we want to aluminum block it. Just some sort of a, oh, I know, we can get a big old, we'll put a bolt in it. That'll work right there. Anyway, got the AC lines hooked up. If that leaks, I'm gonna be super not happy. I'm gonna get the air intake, and then all we're waiting on is the Amazon package to get here so we can put our terminals on, and then we can drive this. It's not gonna shift proper because the transmission control unit is not in it, but it will drive, hopefully. All right, we're going to, so we're not gonna run this for very long because this still needs broke in, but we are gonna see if it'll start and at least drive. We might need to jump it, but move that stand. We should be able to at least pull it out and back it in. And that's the goal, is to drive it. I have no power. Something's unhooked. There we go.
You look so stuck. You're never sitting that low. Love it.
Look at that, King Fred driving on his own power. It may not be totally done, and it might need a lot of things, but look how pretty. All right, so what we need to do before we do anything further, we're gonna hook up the tack wire because we have to break in the cam at 1500 RPM for 10 minutes. So we're gonna shut it off, get that tack wire ran, and then break the cam in. Check this out. Terminals came through. Our friends over there at Amazon. So now we got this all bolted up. I'm gonna put my tack wire into the factory harness. As soon as we get that done, Hillbilly has ran us a really, really janky.
You said a quick, dirty temp sensor, so you got it.
And that's what we needed, so that's what we got. So I'm gonna figure this out and get it tapped into. All right, if we did this correctly, this should work. This should feed the tachometer. What are you painting over there? We got Braden over there, he's painting in his paint booth. You painting a sword?
What?
A sword?
He's tagging.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, kids, tag on cardboard, not buildings.
Yeah, tag cardboards, not property. Okay, I'm gonna hook these wires up and we'll go see if the tachometer works, and if it does, we'll call Dustin, we'll get the exact protocol for breaking in the cam. Guess who has a tack? Okay, so we're gonna call Dustin and get the protocol to break this cam in. All right, so I called Dustin at Industrial Injection. He said 1500 RPM, 10 minutes, that'll be the cam break in, and then shut it off. So, that's what we're gonna do. Ready? Yeah. Hillbilly had a good suggestion. We have an idle up cable. So we don't even have to block the throttle. We'll just idle it up 1500 and maybe set it for 10 minutes. That's it. And she is broken.
Why'd you break it?
Because you're supposed to break it. I'm the first to break it. All right, so we've got the door locks in. What else do we have? Third battery mount. that we still got to build. Gear oil diff, that's Chad. Grease boom, still needs done. Wire and 4 Badland winches, still needs done. Install 4,000 zip ties. We've installed 1,000, 3,000. We've got wiring loom, but it's not on. Winch cable boom, that's not done. Seems like nothing's done. Install seat, not done. Finish dash, not done. Lower gears, not done. Tighten lug nuts, that is done. That was on. No leaf springs yet. Mirrors, not yet. Grid heater is done. CN wire to not done. Bleed hydraulics, not done. Transmission wiring, not done. But we broke in the cam. The engine is almost, well, the engine's ready to go. It needs some power steering fluid. It needs a few odds and ends. But this thing is going to make it to the Off-Road Expo.
Too slow, Joe.
No. You get one shot.
One opportunity.
All right, King Fred is just about finished. We've been busting our butts, working long hours. I don't even know what the time crunch is for, other than it's a time crunch that we put on ourselves. But you know what? Never quit, you'll never fail, and one day we will get this done. Thanks for watching.